Today I messed up by accidentally implying to our babysitter that we want to make love with her. For reference, my husband and I are in our mid-late 30s and our sitter is in her early 20s. We have 2 young kids, 5 and 3, and through the pandemic my husband and I have both been working from home. For a while we were taking shifts trying to watch the kids while the other had meetings, but eventually, we resorted to hiring a sitter sometimes during the day to watch them and keep them occupied so we could work. We've gone through a couple of sitters before landing on our current one. She has been absolutely fantastic, a dream with the kids, and has been working for us for several months now. It has been such a godsend for us to hide away in our offices on our laptops undisturbed through our workdays, knowing someone is taking care of things on the other side of the door. The mess up happened yesterday when we decided we wanted to take a night for ourselves now that restaurants were opening up again in our area. We had the sitter come over and we went out for a night of food and drink, our first date night out at a restaurant in almost 2 years due to the pandemic. Out at dinner was glorious, drinking and flirting and being adults outside in the real world, feeling like people and not just parents or workers trapped in our home. We felt very energized and we knew how we wanted to spend that energy, but having young kids makes having alone time difficult. Our kids are fussy sleepers sometimes. We were joking to each other saying we should ask the sitter to stay later and watch the kids so he and I could have some private time uninterrupted. When we hired our first sitter, we took advantage of the fact the kids were occupied by having a few sneaky quickies during the day while we were locked away working, but we hadn't done that in a while and now the idea of some love-making this evening without the risk of a barge-in was very appealing. When we got home, I was a little tipsy. The kids had been put to bed but weren't really settled asleep yet, so my husband went to check on them. I stayed, thanked our sitter for helping us have a wonderful night out. She was very friendly as always and assured us it was no problem. She'd help us out whenever we needed. And here's where I messed up. My tipsy brain thought it would be cute to slyly joke about having her stay and watch the kids longer so my husband and I could have some intimate alone time together. One of those, as a joke but testing the waters things, which already is crossing a line, but what makes matters worse is how I phrased it. She said we looked so happy or rejuvenated and said we must have had a great time out. I agreed and said it was so amazing and thanked her so much for letting us escape as man and wife for a night to have some fun. She says something like, "No worries at all. Anytime you need me, I'm happy to help with anything." To which I say with a wry smile, "Well, we had been thinking about asking you if you wanted to stay a little longer. We could make love." Which, in my mind I was trying to suggest she stay longer to watch the kids, so my husband and I could make love, but that is not how it came out. I understand now what was clearly implied by my phrasing. Her eyes went wide and her voice became hushed and serious, asked if I was serious, and me, not understanding my mess up yet, laughed and said I was just teasing but we'd certainly really enjoy it. We'd done it with other sitters in the past, low luck, but we didn't make her too uncomfortable and it was completely fine if she wasn't comfortable with it. I think I'm treating the subject delicately because I think I'm talking about a completely understandably weird ask to say, "Do you want to babysit our kids while we make love in another room?" And she's responded like she's shocked I'm asking but is being super cool about it. She stammers a bit and says she'd love to but she can't tonight, and I try to drop it saying it's no big deal, thinking that we're just going to make love anyway. It just would have been nice to have a guard, but she keeps insisting she would, but she can't. And she keeps stressing she can't, and I'm starting to get that she's implying she has her period, and I'm tipsy and I don't really know what that has to do with things or if I should be offering her anything, but I just keep assuring her it's no problem at all and at this point just want her to leave so I can jump my husband. She continues to be apologetic and says she would love to any other time. She thinks we're amazing and it's such a huge fantasy for her. And that's when something clicks in my brain and I get what we're talking about. I start to panic a bit and backpedal saying forget I ever asked, but she doesn't want me to feel like she's blowing me off or making excuses, and I'm trying to get out of it but I'm in too deep to say there was a misunderstanding because she's so into it and supportive and eventually we awkwardly hug and she leaves. I freak out and run into our bedroom to my husband and spill out the story about what just happened and he starts howling with laughter and I'm just stressing out. He's been making fun of me ever since, calling us swingers now. He's been telling me everything will be fine, just tell her it was an honest mix-up, but this girl is great with our kids, and has been a dream for us helping out. I don't want to lose her as a sitter and I'm afraid I just messed it all up. I have no idea what to do now. As I see it, I have these options. A. Pretend like I don't even remember asking, was too drunk and have no idea what she's talking about when she tries to bring it up, the coward's option, potentially mean and childish, but theoretically sparing all of us embarrassment. B. Explain truthfully what happened, that it was a misunderstanding, and risk making her feel completely embarrassed for being enthusiastically game, and making our relationship with this amazing sitter very awkward, or she might just have a big laugh over it, the adult option, own your mistakes and clear the air. C. Ghost her, sell our home and move and change our names, the vacuum cleaner repairman option. D. Just roll with it and have a threesome with this girl, the heroic option. Update, success. I had a chat with her yesterday, explaining everything and we both had a good laugh about it all. She is incredible and understanding and cool and made it very not awkward. We all admitted to a fun mutual attraction but we've agreed to keep things professional for now. She says babysitting is just temporary for her, so when she's ready to move on, we may have an opportunity for some fun in the future when we're not in an employer and employee relationship.